we were frustrated with each other and we processed things a little bit differently. And we had to really come together and decide how the business was going to start really implementing and analyzing our business and getting our anchor system in place.
They just called and said, hey, we found you on, I think it was Google, and they read through our testimonials and our reviews, and they're like, you're our agent.
When you said we are small, but we are mighty, I literally got goosebumps all over. Encouraging our clients, our past clients, to give us those Google reviews has really helped. And this was all through interviewing our clients, is how we figured out what they needed from us.
All right, this is going to be a fun one. I promise you. I have John and Carole Stanley. They are a dynamic real estate duo. They have reinvented their business by leaning into systems, storytelling, and a lot of other things that they're going to tell you today. Carole comes from a diverse background in escrow, and she's got a lot of empathy. John contributes very strong sales background, deep life experience, and a really strong, no-nonsense work ethic. So together they have made this amazing team, from being more off the cuff to being more intentional about their business. And you're going to see today how they've turned their business into an anchor for people who are looking for trust, safety, and true client care. So with that, John and Carole, welcome to my show. Welcome to my show. Yeah, I like that. See, here we go. John, rehearse. People who don't know you, who are you? Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about you.
So we are John and Carole Stanley. We are located in Battleground, Washington. We're been in real estate for 7 years.
Yeah, licensed for 7.
Licensed for 7 years together. And then I've got a background in escrow, so title and escrow. And then John has got a background in construction, engineering, as well as home inspection. So we're kind of the do-it-all real estate agent.
I like it. I like it. How did you guys decide to get into real estate? Carole, it kind of makes sense for you, right? Because you're an escrow. I guess it kind of makes sense for John too. But what made you decide to get your real estate license and start selling houses?
To be honest with you, I never thought I would be in real estate, because I worked with real estate agents and I just thought, that's not the job I want. They were always winging it and they never really seemed to know what they were doing. And their clients would come to me at the end of the transaction and they really didn't sound like they had a good experience, don't get me wrong, but they did seem, some of the buyers, they felt a little lost and they didn't really understand the process and what was going to happen after they saw me at the escrow table. And I'm at the very end of the transaction. It was an interesting transaction. I thought it was herding cats. And I thought, oh no, I never want to do that.
Okay. All right.
However, I did push John.
I was going to say, I was the one that got roped into it seemed like. So I was working for a company in Woodland that was basically doing engineering work for them, sold the company, let us all go, exported all the work. And I went into home inspections for about a year and a half, and realizing that probably wasn't a great future for me. I didn't want to crawl into crawl spaces for the rest of my life. Did it for about 18 months or so.
He was getting old and he thought,
I still am old.
This isn't what he wants to do for his life as he's getting older.
So someone said, hey, why don't you just go into real estate, on the other side of it? And so after a bit of talking to and convincing, I decided to do it. And honestly, it's been a great business. It's worked for both of us. It's kept us going for a while, but I think we decided it's time to truly legitimize the business and try to move it forward and make it into a longer term career, if you will, or what you want to call it, trying to improve our processes and grow the business a little bit more.
I love that. So you kind of move from my notes say ad hoc. Carole, in your opinion, were you guys the real estate agent that you saw? The one who didn't really know what they were doing, kind of running around, just winging it? Do you feel like that's where you guys were?
Well, I feel like, so I educated John a little bit. He knows house construction. He understands how things work for a house. Mm-hmm. When he had contractual questions and things like that, he would come to me. He would go to our broker. And he would get those answers. But I always told him, you just have to be proactive. You have to prepare the client. That was the one thing that I felt when I was in the escrow desk was missing from a lot of real estate agents, their process. They just weren't preparing the client enough for the worst case scenario. This is our plan, but here's the worst case scenario. and here's how we're going to correct it. So, and he's really good at thinking about, because he's in engineering, he understands how things are built. He did a really good job at educating the client, pitching that expectation. Yes.
So when you guys got into business together, did it make you nervous at all to work together as a married couple?
Just a little bit. Yes.
We like each other a lot, and we've been married
very apparent
a very long time, but changing the dynamic to be business partners, it was a little scary. It adds
a lot of stress. There's a lot of the day-to-day life that a married couple doesn't have as the business as well to add to that. So yes, there was definitely some anxiousness, if you will, or some worry about, is this going to work?
But I mean, how did you guys get through that? Because you seem to be doing just fine. I mean, here you are 7 years later. She kicks you out of the office.
We got to a point where we were frustrated with each other, and we processed things a little bit differently. He processes his way, I process my way. And we had to really come together and decide how the business was going to start processing. And so we really had to analyze what we were doing, why we were doing it, and how we could do it together, because we both wanted the same result for our client, but our approach was a little bit different. As soon as we had that median line, we can still vary. He has his approach, I have my approach. We still have that. But as long as we had that goal in mind, that's what we really needed, was that median line. And for us, it was really analyzing the business and what our clients wanted. So that was our target. Our trajectory became, what is it that our clients want versus what we want?
How did you make that shift from what you want versus to what your clients want?
We took a lot of our clients and we asked them really hard questions.
For about 2 months, we really analyzed our clients and ourselves too. Went through some educational processes to understand, where our strengths are, where our weaknesses are. As a couple, it's one thing, but as a business partner, it's a different relationship. So it matters, where she's stronger at, where I'm weaker at, and how to truly lean into each other and utilize the strengths of both of us to help out our client, which is our goal. And then finding out, from our past clients, what they liked, what they disliked, and how to improve on the experience.
I like that. I wonder where you learned that from. Just kidding.
We had a fantastic coach. We highly recommend her for everybody.
But no, my question that I wanted to ask you from there is what do you think each of your strengths are before you got into partnership together? And then do you think that's shifted at all since you've now been working together a little bit, since you've been working together for a while?
That's a really hard question, Linnea. You want me to be nice to him? You want me to tell him he's got strengths? What?
I mean, it's your marriage, not mine. So just kidding.
In my opinion, I don't think it really changed a whole lot. I think it was just more about recognizing it. She's always been an escrow. She's always had that background. She's always been, very good with that. Honestly, in my opinion, she's a better people person than I am. She's more approachable. People like her. She's got really good intuition, which, has always been the case. It's just about how do you lean into that as a partnership in business versus, as a married couple, and I think that's really what it came down to, is learning how to adapt what you already know and adapt it for a business purpose versus just, an everyday life purpose.
Yeah. When you first got into business, how many, walk me through the journey of your business, results wise. How many houses did you sell as your first year? What did that look like? And then where are you at today?
So, when I first started, like we mentioned before, is Carole kind of pushed me into it. I was doing home inspections. It was, well, I should say push, but it was like, hey, why don't you do this? And we had a good friend of ours that was a broker. So I jumped into it. I think the first year, actually, I did pretty well the first couple of years. I had a lot of business from my coworkers. They all respected me and wanted to they knew me, they trusted me. It was an easy transition. I want to say the first couple of years, I probably closed, 12 to 15 transactions, which wasn't bad for a beginner. And then kind of I guess let the business slow down a little bit and looked at other things. I had some interest from a manufacturing background, which is where I'm at. So at that point, the business kind of slowed down. I think I did like 2 or 3 transactions with my third year. And then Carole had decided to leave escrow around that time. So that's the year that we kind of said, okay, maybe we should join this together,
Right.
And truly, make this a business for both of us. So it made it a little more difficult because I had a decent business that I kind of let wane a little bit. People thought I was out of the industry. So we really had to kind of kickstart that back up. And, that's kind of, so, I mean, honestly, we kind of reset ourselves from the last probably 2 years from zero business to where we're at now, which, there's some help we had on the way. And I think it's been a good transition. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys have had help, but you also are the ones who are doing the work, right? You have guidance. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Correct.
100%.
Correct.
Right.
Well, we, once I came into the business, I mean, we had really exhausted our sphere. Our friends and family, that was pretty much, already exhausted by the early years when John was.
That's what I burned through.
So it became tougher at that point. And so it was a little bit harder to, find those transactions. But, our first year together, we did a decent business. But this last year, since really implementing and analyzing our business and getting our systems, our anchor system in place, and really figuring out how we want to help our clients, our business has doubled. So really utilizing Google reviews and you building that knowledge base and exposure to social media and things like that. To our friends and family, and we've just exploded, and we're happy with our growth, and encouraging our clients, our past clients, to give us those Google reviews has really helped our new clients when they're looking to hire someone, really understand who we are before we even show up.
You guys have 2 big wins that stand out for me today. So I want to talk about both of them. The first is your branded service packages, right? Your anchor system. We talk about that a lot, why it's important to have a method that's yours that because it's really the only thing that sets you apart is the way you tell the story, right? And you guys have done a really good job of that. So do you think that that has changed the experience that you give to your clients? Do you think that having a system has changed your confidence level or the experience that your clients receive?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, our service packages have definitely, the majority of our clients they don't need a lot of assistance. They just want guidance. We've created 3 levels of packages that are really for, a do-it-yourselfer who just basically needs a little tiny bit of guidance. And then somebody who needs the whole shebang where they don't even want to touch it. They're just like, tell me when I need to sign and when I need to start packing. That's So we have that level as well. And this was all through interviewing our clients, is how we figured out what they needed from us. And then we realized, we just kind of dove really deep and created this package. The majority of our clients, they want good service. They want...
in my opinion, it does. So it gives you confidence as well. When you approach a conversation, knowing that you have these ranges or packages set up, you're not going in saying, if someone goes sideways on you, think is going this way, and all of a sudden they're over here. If you don't have a package or a system in place, that can catch you off guard pretty quickly and then get you frustrated or flustered. Having these systems, having this package in place allows us to go in confidently and say, we think this is what you're looking for, but if they do go off script or whatever and decide to go somewhere else, we have that for you as well. So, having confidence in a conversation is huge. Having known what our past clients wanted and needed, and having those things offered in these packages, we kind of have a good feeling of what is going to fit and what works for them.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you basically collected data, right? So your business is data. Your business is now, rather than being instinctive or intuitive, which of course we want an intuitive, we want a feeling based business, but you have to have data to back up the feelings. Yeah. Right. And so now you have a database business, and it's helped you a lot in the sense of you guys got a call from someone who just found your profile, and before you even got there, they were ready to hire you.
Yeah. The first time that ever happened to us, couple months ago, I think 3 or 4 months ago, and I mean, literally, they just called and said, "Hey, we found you on I think it was Google, and they read through our testimonials and our reviews, and they're like, you're our agent." And there's no better feeling than to walk into someone's home and have a presentation where they're like, "Yeah, let's, I love everything you're doing for me, great for you. Let's do this. Let's go forward." It was very, very, I mean, almost kind of humbling to know that, someone really respected us, and
yeah, it really was.
It was kind of nice.
I mean, that's what you want. You want to work with people who know, but beyond a doubt that you are the team that they need. And so, like I said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You guys are the ones who have done all the work. Like, I just gave you the guidance, the tools to do it, but you actually did it. And then now beyond that, you're still doing it. You're still implementing things.
Always a work in progress. We're always ready to improve more.
This never finishes?
No, I'm so sorry, John.
When it finishes, John, I think you're probably dead.
Okay, I'm okay working then. We're good. We'll keep going forward.
Let's just think about it the other way. So you guys implemented things like Google reviews. You implemented a new pricing tool, the one that we talk about in my program, right? Or at least for a minute. I don't know if you're still using that. But talk to me a little bit about like kind of the shift in using new tools or using new systems, like emotionally, technologically. Like, talk to me about that a little bit.
Again, it comes back down to the confidence. And knowing your data, having the tools that can collect data from longer term and in a longer range, we can really set up the expectation for a client because you're telling them, look, this is what everything is showing us. This is where the information is at. We can't predict the future; nobody can. But based off of history, this is what we think is going to be the best case scenario for what we're doing. And that is, all about collecting historical data and accumulating that information, presenting it to the client in a very understandable way through charts and graphs that really shows them, what they've got and what they're trying to achieve. So we can manipulate it based on their time frame, what they need, what their property is like, that kind of stuff. So it really gives us that confidence going into the meeting with the data behind us and to manage that expectation for them so they understand where they're at.
Do you think that there's like, for you guys, when you had to learn how to use those tools, was there any sort of emotional connection or like emotional thing that went through? Because you're learning new technology, right? You're learning new tools. The end result is worth exactly what you just said. You need it for that.
Right.
But when you go through and you learn new technology, you learn new systems, you learn new tools, how did that feel?
It's one of those things where technology is frustrating if you don't understand it. What I would suggest is just taking bite-sized pieces, implementing one thing and really diving into it enough. Ask questions, get help. You work with people that have got bigger brains than you. It's okay. Ask those questions and but take one thing and go slow.
It is very overwhelming. There are a lot of tools out there. There are a lot of variations, opinions, and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
So having, a community or a group or a coach or somebody to help, on the outside looking in to say, hey, look, this is the important, path. Let's get this done first and then try to shut everything else out, get rid of the noise and what's going to make an impact in your business, quick. Because once you have that success, you start feeling that success, then everything else starts to roll for you easier. But that first leap is very overwhelming.
It is. It is, especially like there's nothing else that makes me feel more stupid than technology sometimes.
I would agree. It's different. And then there's not a lot of ways to learn it besides just using it.
Yeah. Right.
Really, there's not. There's no manual. You don't get a book anymore. You just have to figure it out.
You have to use technology to help you figure out how to use technology.
That really is the way to. Yeah.
You will go to YouTube to, try to figure out how to use Facebook.
Right.
So.
Thank goodness for YouTube.
Yes. Thank goodness for YouTube, for real. Like, YouTube has been a game changer for me. I love it. So, okay. So you said a couple things a minute ago that I want to touch on. You said community and coaching. Let's talk about the community, the coaching community that we have. I mean, it's small. We are a small but mighty little community. But talk to me about what has having a coaching community done for you guys?
Okay, so I just have to say, when you said we are small but we are mighty, I literally got goosebumps all over because we are. Everyone cares about each other's success in this community. And we're working. Everyone, we're celebrating wins, whether they're big wins, little wins, it doesn't matter. A win is a win. And oftentimes it's not about that if the result is a win, the process could be the win. You could have a negative outcome with a client, but the process was the win rather than, it being because we can say no to clients, and that's a great feeling. We don't necessarily need to take on every client that or every challenge. If we decide that we don't want to use a piece of technology, throw it out. It's okay. Or say no to a client. It's okay, because there's going to be another one behind it for sure.
The community brings a lot of new ideas, experience with other stuff that we don't know about or haven't seen. Having various markets in various areas, what they do over there might not be what we do here, and having that experience for something somewhere else to say, hey, maybe that would work here. I always say it's you don't know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. and to have various people in various markets letting you know that, hey, this is an option, all these different technologies and platforms, it's very nice to have that ability to implement things you just don't know about.
Yeah. And some communities you can get lost. Some communities are all about the newest and the greatest thing and introduction. You try this, try that, try this. But in ours, I feel like there's a mission in our community. And I think we're all on that same mission. And you can really stay your own track, whether my track may be different than someone else's track, but we're all going the same direction and we all have the same mission. That's super important.
You said it better than I could. Because I feel the same way. I think one of the things that I love is to watch the growth of everybody, and of course it's my community that I created, but it's not me. I'm not the only one in there, right? It's because you guys are all in there every day. I mean, pretty much if you think about as much so on Discord, even on weekends, right? If you think about just that piece of the community, like you guys are all there every day supporting people. So to watch you guys, your growth from, going from, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 in a year to now you guys are, I don't know, I lost count. I'm like, how many? I have no idea where you guys are even at now. I've lost count because you guys have had such wild success. And then, to watch people go from 0 to 7 closings in 3 months and, 17 under contract. It's really, really inspiring for me.
Right. So. Yeah. I mean, we're all on our own path, but we're all there together. And some people's speed is faster than other people's speed. And, for us, there was a point for us where we have to stay on our track, right. And I remember John saying, stay the course, Carole, stay the course. And it really works. And it's really been a wonderful community. I'm so thankful for everyone that's here.
Me too. You guys all make me, I'm like, this is my favorite day of the week. I love it. Well, yeah. Talk to me more about if you were to talk to someone who is struggling with feeling burnt out, you're talking to a married couple who might be working together, what would be some advice that you would give them? Because you guys reinvented yourself multiple times, and I think you have a big story to share with deciding that you're really good friends. It's very apparent you guys are really good friends. And when really good friends decided to get married, there's risk there, right? And then really good friends who are married decided to do business together. There's even more of a risk, right? John's like, we're not really good friends. What advice would you give to other people who are kind of maybe thinking, should I partner up with my spouse? Should I partner up with my partner? Should I even find a business partner? What advice would you give to them? It's a big, long question, I know, but
Yeah, it's a really, there's so many ways. There's so much to think about when you're getting involved. We already run a business. We run a marriage together. Mm-hmm. So to create yet a second business together, right? It does take a lot. You just have to know what each other's goals are. Just make sure that you're on the same page. I think it's really important, though. I don't think we could have made it where we're at without the community and the coaching that we've had.
I think we would have gotten lost on the path somewhere. I mean, there are some recommendations that you would have given us, with the weekly check-ins and the, look at stuff and just make sure, because as a married couple, you don't always do that. You're always doing your own thing and you come back every now and then and check in. But when it's when you're physically making the schedule, making the time, hey, it's Thursday, we got to look at this. We got to, reevaluate. What are we going to do this week? what's in store for us over the next couple of months? What's our goal? Those things are important to keep you together on path. And that's where I think married couples, you automatically have some feeling of what, she's doing or what I'm doing because you've been together for a while. So you assume that, we're going this way, but that's not always true.
Responsibility levels, right? So
yeah.
He thinks I'm responsible for something and I think he's responsible for something. And then if we're not checking in with each other to make sure that you are doing what you say you're supposed to do, if you're not doing what you say you're going to do, it's right. Holding each other accountable in a nice way when we have a scheduled meeting. Yeah. Right. There's no, it's a scheduled meeting. Right. And we know it's an accountability meeting with each other. So that's important.
Don't let it go 2 to 3 months. And then all of a sudden it becomes an issue. Yeah. Do it every week, every 5 days, every 6 days, whatever. That way you're just taking little chunks as you go. If you let it go too long, it becomes a problem.
I like it. So what do you think is for you guys, maybe individually and then as a team, what is the biggest shift that you have noticed or you've seen since we started working together? Been almost a year now, right? Maybe a little longer than that if we actually talk about how far Carole and I go back. So what do you think is the biggest shift you've seen, like individually and then, like I said, as a team?
I wasn't really confident in working with him. I feel much more supported now than I did in the beginning when we decided to work together. I'm definitely more supported because we do have our check-ins that we have, and we have our responsibilities. So we've really found, you call the genius zone. John works in his genius zone and I work in mine, but coming together and really focusing on that and just making sure that, he's getting his stuff done and I'm getting my stuff done. And if I have to help him, I jump in and I help him. And if he has to help me, he jumps in and helps me.
Yeah, I like it. John, what about you? The biggest shift since we started working together?
Mirror what she said with that. It's when we first started, it was a little more haphazard. We were just trying to, figure it out and push to get business. Mm-hmm. Not really having a path or a goal, if you will. It was just about, we got to make money. Yeah. We got to make money. We got to make business. And you get caught up in that. And honestly, you can get too caught up in that where it becomes overwhelming. And then you start to get animosity between us because, you're pushing, I'm not, you're pushing, she's not, whatever. Mm-hmm. So having that path, that goal that, hey, slow down, take a moment, bring in these tools, focus on the business and get that situated and then push forward. I think that really helped align us and, again, lean into each other's strengths more rather than both of us just pushing as hard as we can in our own directions.
Love that.
Because we are two different people. We have two different mindsets. We have two different ways to do things. She is extremely goofy and I'm not. So I'm always serious all the time.
Really?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Okay. That was a bunch of BS for anyone watching. That was a bunch of BS.
They know me. They don't.
They're gonna know you now.
That's kind of where it comes down to it. It's really having that goal and having that check-in, having constant wheel of working with both of us going the same direction.
I love that. So where are you guys headed? What's 2026 got in store for you?
Well, the verbal goal was to double it again, right?
We plan on doubling it again. So
let's do it. I think your goal should be to make Icon.
That's
your first.
Yeah. So, I think there's still a few more things we need to put in place. Our marketing needs some help. We have to work on that a little bit. There's some things out there that we need to, obviously you're never done. There's always more to do, that we always have something else we're working on. But I think that's really where we're focusing right now is to, increase our marketing. Obviously, if you know us, we just changed over to EXP. So we have to kind of rebrand ourselves to a point.
That was a really exciting woohoo from Carole, by the way. Sound effects from Carole that did not get thrown in there. That was her real sound effects.
That was her real sound effect. Yeah. There's a lot to do still. It's never done.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to 26.
I'm looking forward to it for you guys too. Just kind of watching. I'm just, I just like sit back here in the background. And I'm not really in the background. I'm very in your face, but I sit back here like, when I'm not in your face, I'm like, man, God, it's just so inspiring. You guys all just inspire me so much. Just watching like how you have really, you put your head down and you get it done. Like you just focus on getting it done. And I know sometimes, there's other things that, get in the way and you might get a little bit off track, but you don't get discouraged. Or if you do, you just for a minute, right? But you use that to stay focused and get it done. And I think that's the big difference. It's that right there is what's gotten you the results that you've gotten, right? Your results are not they're not by accident. The fact that people are calling you up and saying, I want to hire you before I even see you face to face, like that's not an accident. That's all by design. And that's something you guys had literally said that you want to do. Like when you very first started, we did your business audit. Both of you had a version of that on there, right? Both of you had a version of, I want people to just know who I am. I want to work with people who I like to work with. That's by design. So you guys have done all of that. So congratulations to you.
Consistent baby steps is the way to do it. If I jump too far, you got to pull me back because I'll lose it. I will. It's just consistent baby steps. That's something that I learned this year is just consistent baby steps. Just keep moving. Just keep going forward and, do the work when the work needs to happen. And you will continue to move forward if you just keep moving.
Don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone.
That darn comfort zone. Although I like to say you don't have to step out of the comfort zone, just expand the comfort zone.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because that zone is going to stay with you.
Just expand it and like make it stretch a little bit further. Just one little tiny stretch. Okay, so if they wanted to send you referrals, right? You can always use some referrals. What kind of clients are you looking for right now?
Yeah. Clients, obviously that are ready to buy or sell for sure. But, we enjoy working with.
We do a lot of acreage properties. We've actually had really good luck with some, larger properties in the last couple of months. Most of the clients we work with are just down to earth people that just, need to get a job done and typically they're to help. And honestly, if we look back at our client list, most of them become our friends. They're couples, they're just, standard, regular, everyday people that just want to have a need and either need to move, need to get in the area through business or just because they have family here, that kind of thing. So that's kind of what we typically work with is just those types of people. Whether it be acreage, whether it be a condominium or an apartment, we've kind of done almost all of it. So
I like it. Okay. So people looking to buy or sell in Battleground, which is where? Where's Battleground, Washington?
Clark County, Washington. So just north of Portland, Oregon.
And?
Vancouver, Washington.
Vancouver. Thank you.
Not Vancouver, BC.
Not BC, yeah.
Vancouver, Washington, Portland, Oregon, in that area. If you're looking to buy or sell, call John and Carole. And how should they get a hold of you? Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook?
We have a website. It's stanleyteamhomes.com. We've got a great Google presence as well.
Email is there. You can call us there. There's a number online. It should be pretty easy to find for most people. So if you're on Google, we're right there.
Yeah.
But you're definitely not hidden.
No, try not to be. And if we are, there's a problem.
Yeah. Thank you for recognizing that there's a problem if people can't find you. So I love that. You guys, thank you so much. It's been awesome to watch your story, to be a part of your growth and your journey. I can't wait to see what's in store for you for 2026. It's going to be exciting.
Thank you very much for helping us as well. So it's been a good journey.
I'm happy to be a part of it. It makes me really happy. So those of you who are watching, thank you so much for staying tuned. John and Carole have an awesome story. If it resonated with you, contact them at Stanley Team Homes and, send them a referral and subscribe to my channel. Okay, we'll see you on the next video.